I think y'all can hear me. I think. Okay, if it is or not, I'm live. Hi, family. How y'all doing? This is my first time live on Facebook. I'm using that, what is it, stream thing? And I think I did a live on YouTube before. But I found something interesting, y'all, that I just wanted y'all to hear, see on YouTube. Thank you to brother. I think his name is Nazo L. He is the chief of the Yamasee Moors. Thank you for that. I never knew who this brother was. I'm looking at my notes. I never knew who this brother was or who this person is, but it is very interesting. YouTube he did a YouTube broadcast from his channel. His name is Michael Christopher, and he says that he is the chief global chief finance, oh no, not finance, sorry, federal postal court judge. And he's a penitentiary judge as well. I messed that all up. He said he's going to be talking about, in this broadcast, he'll be talking about coronavirus, 5G, technology. Is this a weapon against us or not? Or mortgages, the U.S. debt, currency, blockchain, cryptocurrency, will be our new currency, all this, right? And sovereignty. He said that also. I was a little shocked with that. And he also said that he was the highest court, global court, other than the health and safety in the military courts. And he controls, under his jurisdiction, 195 countries. And I think the United States is included. I'm not sure is America. The continent is included, probably is. I never heard anything. This is the closest, other than, listening to our brothers, our sisters, the Moors. I really haven't heard anything like this. What he says, like, shocks, it shocks you. It actually really, you know what? I'm not going to say no more. I'm just going to share my screen. It's an hour and 27-minute video. I'm just going to share my screen. I'm just going to let y'all hear it from his mouth yourself, so y'all can get your own opinion or your own. Matter of fact, get your notes. Get some pens and paper out. Get some notes and some questions that you're going to need to want to ask. And hey, bro, how you? What's up, Sue? That's my brother, y'all. How long, Sue? God dang, 2013, yo? Damn, it's been a minute. But anyway, I'm going to share, and he's the one actually, and first one on the jump, see how energy works. He's the one actually taught me how to do lives. So big up to my brother Suicide, H292. Here we go. And y'all check his channel out too. That brother's, he's a good soul. What I like about him, he got integrity. All right, let me share my screen. I'm gonna push play. What he has is 5 minutes between sections between each answer. Hello, I didn't know what. You didn't know what, bro? It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Me and you've been knowing each other since before it was lives. It was just leaving comments. Comments on the Sonetta's chats and shit like that. It's been a minute. It's probably long. It's probably 2012 instead of 13. You know what I'm saying? So we've been rocking for a while, But anyway, this brother, stop it. I'm live on Facebook, just talking. Don't even know if I'm still live on that. But I can see I'm live on YouTube. Big up to my family on YouTube. This is my spot, y'all already know. So I'm gonna go ahead and share this video right here. No, not that. Music type. All right, y'all gonna have to let me know if y'all can see this. I'm gonna go ahead and start. And also, I needed to see.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is my live broadcast ever, and I'll be doing these things on a regular basis. This is to bring up the entire world as to what is happening, and also to address any questions that is coming up in the general economy, as well as the government and the rest of it. Now, I am the Chief Federal Postal Court Judge, and that's global. What that means is that if it's on paper, and if it came through your letterbox, I have jurisdiction. There are no other courts on this planet apart from health and safety, and of course, the military courts. And the other court is the Fractional court, which I control in 195 countries in the world, using the other judges that I have trained over a period of many years. Now, I will be talking about several subjects today, which is of prominent importance. And the reason why of the importance is because you have just come out on a particular period in history that I do not think that our greatest grandfathers ever witnessed. This period is known as the Corona period, which I will speak about in depth today. When I go through each subject, I will take a 5-minute break. But what it is for me to be able to read some of your comments and then address them before I go on to the next subject. Full stop. I will now speak about the Corona period. The Corona, quite literally in Latin, it means a birthing. When a baby is being born, it is called a crowning. This is when the baby's head begins to show itself from the mother. And that is known as crowning. And the Latin word for that is called corona. You folks, being in the maritime that you are, on a global level, you know that it is maritime law, and that maritime law rules supreme. That is the movement of one vessel from another. In faith law, we are known as vessels. In maritime law, we are known as vessels. And you have been birthed from this vessel as a vessel. What that just simply means is that you've been logged in and logged out. As peculiar can sound, these words can sound to the general public that are not aware of it, but these are the facts. So I congratulate all of you in making this journey. Very few people have. You have been birthed into a new civilization. This civilization will control, I will rephrase that and withdraw that sentence. This new civilization, you will control the currency in your pocket through the peer-to-peer transactions. In addition to that, you will also be able to act and move as citizens of this planet when the corona frenzy begins to weigh down and people begin to see the rationale. Unfortunately, most people will not make this journey because they still prefer to be lied to. What that means is the world of fiction, the shadows, people that are governed by shadows, like the false flags, like, for example, the situation of a police officer that put his knee on a particular man's neck and so-called killed him. You have to find it within yourself to just simply phone the coroner's office and ask them, do you have such an incident taking place within the coroner's office? Not the deputy coroner. The deputy coroner only deals with dead entities, corporations. But the coroner, as in the US, is called vital statistics. Ask them, did such a thing happen? If it hasn't, you have been hoodwinked. Crisis actors are playing up all over the world to unsettle you so you can give up more of your rights. Because people that loot for economic reasons, as well as for violence and protest in violence, will not make this journey because they have fallen for fiction world. That means they prefer to be lied to rather than think critically. Public safety officers do not go around killing people. Police officers are public safety officers, what is better known as citizens in uniform. They do not go around killing people. You are being played by crisis actors and fake actors to emotionally traumatize you into thinking Black Lives Matter. You are not black any more than you call yourself white. If you call yourself white, you automatically have opened up a contract to say that you are not American, that you are not Russian, that you are not English, that you're not British. If you call yourself black, you become an alien of the country that you're in because there is no such thing. Now, I'm giving you this general information to let you know, on a global scale, the individuals that are responsible for unraveling people's minds in a manipulative way cannot get away with it. They can only make fools of you if you let them. Pick up a pen and pen a letter to the coroner's office and just simply say, has such a person passed away? What is all this got to do with the subject matters that I am supposed to be speaking about? It's very simple. When you have been birthed into this new civilization, you have become an economic sovereign. You have become a sovereign on paper. You have become a sovereign with your words and the things that you do and you say. And the corporations cannot handle and cannot trespass upon a sovereign. As a result, you are being unsettled on a global scale. As the Chief Federal Postal Court judge on all 195 countries in the world, I am telling you, every single country in the world, do not be hoodwinked by the corporations that will demonstrate on the mass media that you are not a sovereign because you believe in any cartoon lies that come to you. Find it within yourself, as I have to do, to think more than what the mass media do, which is to perpetually lie to you. In the US, the President Trump openly in his broadcast tells you, I do not need to speak to you. You are a fiction. I do not need to answer your question because you are a fake news reporter. And when you did the fake news about the terrorist attack, you never apologized for it. As a result, shut your mouth and I have nothing to do with you. You are finding on a global scale, they are demonstrating this on the open market platform, which is called YouTube or Facebook or any one of these things, but not the Fox News, not the CBNs, not the BBC. That's all just fiction garbage. What I am saying to you from the depths of my knowledge and the depths of my heart and the works that I have been doing with David Wayne Miller and the things that I've been doing up to now, you are now sovereigns. And sovereigns are totally responsible for everything that they do. Total responsibility is power, because nobody gets any power without taking full responsibility. The world of fiction will tell you that what you have to do to get power is to get power and then act responsibility, i.e., with power comes great responsibility. That is nonsense. Nobody gets power without responsibility. You are now first responsible, and when you become responsible for yourself, your money, your wife, your children, your country, how your governments work, how the cryptocurrencies and all those things work, when you know that you are in control of that, that's when you become powerful. And that's what a sovereign is. That's my general statement before I go on to the specific subjects. As you know, you have now entered a new birth, and I congratulate you, and it feels good. I've been waiting for this all my life. The individuals, as well as the one or two individuals, as well as group of individuals that have worked diligently in bringing this about, I will be revealing in the course of this year. As of now, the Olympians, which are known as the Committee of 300, and you can go and see all of the proof of that on my website. That Committee of 300, known as the Olympians, are no more. They have lost their time, they lost their space, and all the ill-begotten gains that they made on the stock markets, ripping people off, it's all being pumped back into propping up their failing system. The monies that they are saying are printing, no, they are not printing fiat currency. They've been asked to pull the money out of their bank accounts, not the trillions, billions, and gigillions, or whatever names that there is, of proof of which I have. Their names, which banks that they bank in, and the digits at the end of their bank account. I don't have a word, and there isn't no English word for it, as to how many zeros that they have. I can't call it a gigillion trillion. It becomes meaningless. All of that is being put back in, so their system fails over the next coming few years. That is like somebody taking all the money out of their bank account and just simply funneling the lies until it becomes dry and they just simply perish. I'll speak a little bit about covert or COVID-19. The CO means that it is a particular period, which is Corona. That's what it stands for. The virus itself is that of something that attacks the mind. In the dictionary of the American Medical Dictionary, you will see Corona as being a common cold. And another word for a common cold on a psychological level is gold fever. Gold is going to be your new currency, as well as the peer-to-peer transactions, making each one of you a bank. Back onto the subject of Corona. When you have grasped the passe of what Corona is, you will understand that the number 19 refers to the year that they so-called discovered the Corona. Now listen very carefully, ladies and gentlemen, and the rest of the world, I'm about to say to you. I will paraphrase it once or twice. So when they discovered the Corona virus, even though it is in the dictionary and has been for nearly 20 years, 25 or 30 years, they newly discovered it last year, and they called it COVID-19, the year of the discovery. Well, that's an oxymoron. If people picked up the dictionary, which I'm going to do at the end of this Corona talk, before I go into the next subject, I'm going to open up the dictionary and show it. I'll paraphrase it once more. This pen that has been sitting in the open air and in the dictionaries for nearly 30 years, soon as I'm looking for it, and I discovered it, even though it was sitting in the open air for nearly 30 years, and because I came across it and found it in 2019, I call it Pen 19. And soon as Pen 19 has been found, the rest of the world has been contaminated by Pen 19 virus. Why the hell didn't it contaminate you from day one when it was entered into the medical dictionary? These are oxymorons. And the people that perpetrate such things openly demonstrating. You see Bitcoin, you see peer-to-peer transaction, you see the decentralized people that want all of these things, that the general public is as dumb and as stupid as the day that they came into our... That's what they're demonstrating. Because if you can ever live an oxymoron, and that's what's being rolled out on a global scale. And you, as the members of Unity States of our World Corporation, which have our own constitution, you are immune from such lies. Because the facts always speak for themselves. The number of people that have said to be passed away from this virus, all you do is pick up that pen and write a letter. This, ladies and gentlemen, is mightier than the sword. Use it. I have to get to the position that I am in. And that's what a sovereign does. So please, pick up the pen, find it in yourself to write that letter out to the county coroner. And you're going to get a big surprise. You're going to get such a big surprise. The heroes in your life, the heroes that have been shown in mass media, are going to be anything from the Kennedys, anything from the people that you have been hero worshipping from South Africa, whether it's Nelson Mandela, whether God rest of them. You're going to get a big surprise of these demigods there are. A big surprise. You need a death certificate. And you need a death certificate to say whether they have passed away or not. Not by the deputy coroner, but by the coroner's office. So people out there, just ask them, did Nelson Mandela, Gandhi, Kennedy, did they on that particular day, and did they die of a bullet wound? Did they pass away as men and women and not as a variant spelling name? You need to ask them that. Once again, you're going to get a surprise. I have now spoken about the implications of being a sovereign, because a sovereign means, and you will find that your government will become nothing more than essential services. They will roll back their control, and they will only be reduced to the point of only providing you with the best service that they can. That means the nanny state will be rolled back. Those individuals that rely upon the government rather than the opposite way are going to be at the losing end of this journey. I will speak about one more subject, and I have shot a video on these things as well, which will be released, which is the Georgia Guidestones. As I have said, the unity states of our world, corporations, the live life claimants, have immunity from all this nonsense because we allow the facts to speak for themselves. However, the Georgia Guidestones will now become nothing more. I remove that.
Back and forth the video. Give me 1 second. They flicked out the video now. And I'm rebooting the video up now. I had to share this with the family. I had to. It's trying to get it. Patience, please. Patience with me, family. Technology for ya. And when truth is being spilled, that's what they do. They hate this. Okay. I stopped sharing it for right now because I know, they hate. Yes, it's too informal. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because what he just told you, he put the power right back put it in your hands. For real. He is, I was like, what? Who? Hold up. Let me hear this again. Wait a minute. The boy's been saying this for a little minute. We were listening to them. Like I said, wait a minute. Did this man just say that you a sovereign people? You sovereign person? He just said you were sovereign because you a sovereign person. Y'all sovereign people, not person. People. I'm like, okay. I need to hear more of this. I need to hear more of this. Okay, family, try not to let me, because it is buffering. It's buffering. Give me a second. As my boy Gerald Benjamin would say, well, I call him Benjamin, the ills are going live. The ills are going live. I'm bringing up another window to see if I can go through it like that, but they keep buffering. But you two know better than this. Because he also talked about yellow journalism, called the other people, NBC, CNN, and all them fake news. Use YouTube and other places like that to get your news. And I don't know about you too much of YouTube, but I've been getting some good information. Thank you to the brother, I think it's Nasiel from the Chief of Yamasee Moors. He was there live with it, so I big up to him too. Thank you for being patient with me, family. Thank you for being patient. Are we gonna get this to work? I ain't playing around with that. My people gonna hear this.
I remove that word, nothing more. The Georgia Guidestones will almost certainly become a constitution for those people that are still in the world of fiction, who need to be controlled, who do not feel that they are responsible. Your governments are not conspiring against you. They are of a viral nature, and they are also coming to an end. The mass corporations don't want this type of sovereignty in their world. And I will address that with the peer-to-peer transactions. So with the with the Georgia Guidestones, it's clear that nature has some time to recover.
Yes.
And the population, and this is shocking, it is absolutely shocking, but I will put the code right in front of you. Maintain the population to 500 million people. So nature has time to recover. So nature can be in, albeit mankind can be in perpetual state, in balance with nature. So we're not taking a heavy toll, as it were. This culling is in the mind. There are what is known as variant names. That means I don't have variant names. That means I am Mark Kishon Christopher, and I am what is known as doing business as a different name. And that name be a variant spelling of my name, and that over 200 of that can be created. That means I have 200 personalities. And if I'm doing business as, that means Mark Kishon Christopher is doing business as a franchisor for Mexico. That's also doing business name as. And there is no limit as to how many of them you can have. And some of the individuals that you have been worshipping, hero worshipping, as the old billionaires, may have anything up to 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 names attached to one individual. Each one consuming that of another man. And some of these doing business names as can be consuming billions of dollars. That's how the world of fiction works. And should rep itself. Look it up. It's called Doing Business As. DA.
Okay. It's buffering. He's still talking. Hmm. Okay. I might have to change and stop screening on one, like Facebook or YouTube or something. But I'm gonna see. Okay, let's see.
the pen. Cannot nobody. Otherwise, I would be dead. And I release a lot of sensitive information. Do not believe the chatter that the mass media is saying. Is the vaccine, next question, is the vaccine leading to genocide? No vaccine on the history of mankind has ever been forced upon anybody. A lot of sensitive. The only time such a thing happens is when it's called a contagion. Information. And when it's a contagion, you will find out your entire world. Because they really have 100% proof, and the army will be ushered in, no, the Navy, I beg your pardon, which control the army, and which control is the vaccine military service. Next question, is the vaccine leading to genocide? Army will be ushered in, no, the Navy, I beg your pardon, and which control is the vaccine. Your Surgeon General, that will initiate these things. And you will find, I'll be doing a video on the vaccines itself. Okay, what is known as a vaccine warranty. If they don't autograph that vaccine warranty, then they're saying to you, we do not believe you need it, and therefore you shouldn't take it. Prisoners quite often are treated as if they should have a mandatory vaccine. But for those prisoners that go in and simply say, well, if you read the leaflet in there, it will tell you it has all manner of ill effects with it. Not side effects, ill effects. And as a result, I don't need it unless you do a vaccine warranty. And they will just simply say, well, I don't think you need it. That's fine. Thank you. Go back to your cell. Do not allow yourself to be manipulated. Will you be into Sharia law? So I beg your pardon, Islamic law? No. Because no law can be forced upon you. Because law is only by consent. And for those people that say they are Muslims, yes, of course, that law will be, because that's what they said. If you say you're a Christian, then you have to abide by those laws. Otherwise, what's the point of it? All done by consent. Consent is what creates laws. If you don't give it by tacit agreement, then it doesn't work. Nasara, that's all just garbage. All you have to do is just simply ask them questions as to where they got the money from, the anti-laundering monies, and if they can't give you a record of where the money's come from, well, that's called money laundering. Because if you don't have a record where the money comes from, that's called money laundering, and they go to prison. Think, ladies and gentlemen, think. When is one sovereign to do they have standing in law? I don't know what that means. When one is sovereign, do they have standing in law? Of course. Law is by consent. When you are a sovereign, you determine what laws there are. There is only one law, ladies and gentlemen, do no harm to others. Every culture on the planet follows this. Everything else is the transactions between one person to another. Sovereign means you're responsible. Litigation will become a thing of the past. You will not be able to pursue litigation because you did business with the wrong person. Okay? You are responsible for everything. And I know it's frightening, but that's the facts of life. Enough of that. We'll now go on to the subject of, sorry, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. We are now going to be speaking about cryptocurrency or peer-to-peer transaction. It is important that you hear every single word that I'm saying. This is being recorded, so you can watch it again. In the world of fiction, or what is known as fiat currency, the world that controls the fiat currency act as the middleman. They hold the keys to whether you are going to put money in or take it out, or whether they allow you to do the banking at all. This, of course, disables you economically. It means that you cannot participate on this global platform. This means that you can't pick up Skype conversation, make an order with an American coffee producer when you are, say, in Iceland. Why is that? Because the middleman doesn't want you to, because he wants to do it for you. And if you do, he tries to penalize you. What the peer-to-peer transaction does, since you're a sovereign, you don't answer as to how you're going to spend your money. What the peer-to-peer transaction will do is that it will enable you to be able to choose who you're going to send money from and who you're going to, who you're going to send money to and who you're going to receive money from. There is no middleman. If there is a so-called middleman, it's a mechanism known as blockchain that makes sure that all of these things will happen safely. This means that if I want to send you a 50 cents equivalent in cryptocurrency, digital currency, I'm free to do so wherever you are in the world. That's my choice. At the moment, when that money goes out, my bank charges, the other person gets charged, and all sorts of double transactions take place, especially when they take out loans. They call that, so we'll come on to that. The word slipped to my mind. I do apologize. The cryptocurrency, because you're a sovereign, will give you economic, a level playing field on this global platform. What the cryptocurrency people, what you call Bitcoin, albeit the gentleman or the group of people, they will reveal themselves. I know who they are. That created this mechanism, did it to completely destroy the Committee of 300 and the Olympics. Their way of doing things. If you want to know the names and the bank accounts of your gods, quite literally the gods that people worship, go to my website and you'll see it. And you'll even see how much money they have. Your gods are nothing more than people with bank accounts. And I'm the only one in the history of mankind to reveal that information. Why? It's not because I'm special. It's because I overcome my fear that somehow I'm going to be struck down by Zeus. And I know who Zeus is. You can go into my website and have a look at his bank account. It's not a he, he's actually a she. It's as simple as that. That's the power that a Chief Federal Postal Court judge has over the so-called gods, because they're just fiction. And these people that created, sorry, I'm just reaching down, Satoshi, which I can't pronounce very well, they are responsible for bringing down the fiat currency. The ability to just simply print money and then burden you with it. The Bernie Murdochs of this world, the billionaires on the stock market, all they do is they take money out of the Federal Reserve Bank as a private loan, because it's a private bank. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, every single bank that you guys know in 150 countries or so, they all are Federal Reserve banks, which are private banks. They just go in and say, look, can you give us 100 million at minus 3% interest? Which means if we get 100 million, that means if we get 100 million from you, will you give us 3 million on top? Because it's minus 3% interest. They pay you to take money out. I saw this happen in 2008 when companies in central London, which is a city-state, a country in its own, would go in and just simply say, well, look, give us £100,000. And they would say, well, if you ask for £100,000, you also have to accept the £8,000 on top we might give you. That's how the world of fiction works, ladies and gentlemen. And then, when they all fail, and it's engineered to fail, because without their failing system, they can't build the general public. And if they can't build the general public, you guys can retire. Because all it takes is 20 years of working for you to retire. A clever person can do it in 5 years. But if they rob you of that money, of that saving, of that investment, then you all go back to work again and they live off of you again. This is parasitical. That's why the Bitcoin people created the mechanism to remove the middleman and make each one of you responsible for your own money. That means if you make a mistake, you live with it. You can't go running to the nanny bank account, the nanny banks, and say, oh, can you get it back for us? No, you don't bank with us. That's cryptocurrency. That means peer-to-peer. Peer means that you are a privileged person, that you are a peer. Peer means peer. Just as capital means this. This means capital. They're not asking for money. They're saying use your head. At the end result of that cryptocurrency peer-to-peer transaction safeguarded by the blockchain mechanism makes each one of you out there, from the remote parts of Iceland to the most remote parts of China, each one of you, your own bank and your own capacity to become a banker. In other words, whether you like it or not, you are your own bank and banker. Period. I have made it very clear. Satoshi and his group leveled the playing field so mankind can flourish. What's the importance of this? Well, I'll give you an example. China is the world's largest producer of everything and anything. Bamboo sticks to aeroplanes, pens, plants, genetic material, frequency devices that can purge illnesses out of your mind and body, are all on and produced by China. But they can't get it into Africa without having to go through the chieftains. They can't get it into the US without going to the chieftains there. And yes, the chieftains are running your countries. It's not the politicians. It's not white people or the black people. It's your own chiefs. If you want their names and addresses, no. If you want their names, go to our website. It's there. I'll give you the proof. They're called chieftains. Because they don't want to no longer make those chieftains trillionaire, billionaires, trillionaires, whatever silly names that there are for these ridiculous amounts of money. They created and very successful in making each one of you a bank and a banker. That means you can put your order in anywhere in the world and have it shipped out to end in the world. Yes, there will be certain levies and resistances from these countries that don't want a geometric level playing field, that don't want a geometric business level playing field, that will try to levy it. But all of that will also fall away, as the general public that know how, and the businessmen that know it is better not to work through a chieftain and just work the system for profit, will just simply say, sorry, chieftain, sorry, president, not really in need of your services. The price is too much. That's the significance of the cryptocurrency. The cryptocurrency or digital currency, currency is a maritime word meaning current. It's where the word currency comes from, it's maritime as in birthing, will be so secure that your currency is yours. And your ability to control that current in that ocean, in that river, will be yours. You will determine the movement of that current in that river bank. That's where the word bank comes from as well. Like a river bank is where you do your banking. It's all in maritime. So I thank you, the people that did that, because I wasn't doing it. It wasn't me. It's not my platform. but it's all part of it. The petroleum dollar, and people that tell you that the US dollar is worthless and it has no backing, that would be correct now. But when they took you off the gold standard, they substituted it for another mineral, gold being a mineral, which is petroleum. That too is a failing thing because the Arabs are now starting to buy up technology on battery, non-carbon based combustion engines, which will become extinct very soon. That in itself is an eye-opener because carbon burning is a negative. It has a negative impact on your health, and it has a negative impact on the world, and it has a negative impact all round. But for those people that live on negativity, it's the perfect mechanism because it makes you sick, you become addicted to it, and you need it all the time. Petroleum, that's what it is. It's part of that. That's why the pharmaceutical industry uses it so much. That's why they weaponize petroleum. All of that is going to go out of the window. This is going to be an extraordinarily safe world. For those people that are frightened of their governments, please don't. Just do an authenticated copy of your live life claim and send it to vital statistics, whether it's in the US, in this country it's called the Coroner's Office, which is Britain, United Kingdom, and as well as England. There are 3 jurisdictions here, but in reality it's called the 4 nations. We don't need to go into that. Now I got to say something about the bail-in and the bailout. You've got to understand fully what that means. A bailout is when the government says, well, this company is so large and they are so incompetent at what they do, they completely and totally destroy their own company. Thank God that they did that, because now they go to the general public, tax them to bail you out. By doing that, they get you to work harder and longer, and therefore put you back into servitude. And therefore, incompetence has always been rewarded. That's another negative state of condition. Have you noticed the people that fail you, the presidents, like the 2 Bushes, that lied to you, that got you in all sorts of manner of problems, are rewarded for their artistry? I'm being polite, of course. That system's come to an end. These parasites, known as essentially psychopaths, and some of the mechanisms that they use called narcissism, coming to an end. Okay? So the bailout, what that means is that's when the government bails those companies out at the expense of yours. That's why when there's a bill passed, a bill means something that you pay for. When you have the Bill of Rights, that means you have to pay for your rights. For every right, there's an exchange of money. You didn't know that, did you? Well, now you do. Well, the bailout is how that system works. And here's the horror, ladies and gentlemen. When Greece went under, they did what is known called a bail-in. That means if a corporation fails, they just simply go into your bank account and say, thank you very much for your contribution. Since you don't have the keys to since you don't have full access to your bank and they're acting as the middleman, the treasurer, as it were, of your money and your sweat equity, what happens is that they just simply remove it. And so audacious are they. They will even tell you if your deposit has more than 80,000 in this country, I think it is, and in some countries $110,000 or something. If you have more than that, we might take it off for you. But we won't take all of it. We'll always leave you 100,000 or 60,000 or whatever it is. If you have 5 million in it, we'll take all that and just leave you 110,000. That's called a bail-in. That's a fancy word of saying some parasite has come in, what we call bankers and banksters, and nicked your money, stole your money, theft your money through fictitious language by false and misleading sentences, which is another word for liar. That's called a bail-in. So as a result, pay attention to what is happening on the Bushes on the Trump's platform on YouTube. And there you will have a better insight as to opposed to Fox News and the rest of the fiction reporters. It has to be a journalist. It has to be a correspondent that gives you the facts. Reporters have no ability to speak about facts. Correspondences and journalists have to take an oath. They have to take an oath. A reporter only has a license, albeit a qualification, not a license, to report on somebody else's opinion. That means I listen to Trump and I give them my own opinion to that reporter, then that reporter reports it. There was a middleman, that really is. That's the end of cryptocurrency. I will take 5 minutes out to address some of the comments before I go on to the next subject. And the next subject will be the end of mortgages and debt. As a Chief Federal Postal Court judge, I control that as long as people launch complaints. Now, as sovereigns, you all have to pay your own way. So your governments are not going to give you handouts, even though handouts will be available, but not under these mechanisms. You have to learn to use the right words. And as the weeks go, I will teach you folks on YouTube how to use those right words. I'll do some broadcasts on it. Okay? So we'll be talking about elimination of debt, why that is. And then we'll go on to 5G. So I will speak in 5 minutes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't need very much time to go through these questions. So, what do you consider a peer? A peer is a person that is high-ranking, which is another word for sovereign. A peer-to-peer, that's also maritime, a peer on a riverbank or an ocean. It's a point and place where you can exchange things. That's what peer-to-peer is. So I'll give you an example. One is, thank you, you've taken it off, and now give me something in return. That's called a peer-to-peer transaction. Did you see a middleman in between? No. But you did see a mechanism called YouTube. And that mechanism is like blockchain. That made sure that my message got through and your message got through to me. That's peer-to-peer. And the physical object itself, if you're buying something physical as opposed to intellectual, like an education program, that would come through some sort of a postal system, which I control as well. That's what peer-to-peer is. Is the United States a corporation? Yes, of course it's a corporation. So is every single country in the world. That in itself is not bad. It's just that they didn't tell you. You didn't know that in the United States that you was actually walking on the factory floor of Henry Ford, which is the gigantic corporation within that system, or that you was in the jurisdiction of McDonald's, which stretched hundreds of miles one point to another, where their bylaws take precedence over anything else. That's called corporation law, or bylaws. That means that you are abiding by somebody else's rules because you're not on your property. Whereas if you're thinking about Americas, that's different. That's territorial. That means you are physical and you're walking around. So yes, it is. Is cryptocurrency a fictional currency? No. Only if it acts as a middleman, like Facebook tried to pull something like that. And there was a failing, I think, of a Japanese person that controlled your cryptocurrency as a central banking system. And they said, well, I made a massive mistake. That's just normal banking. That's just money laundering. That's theft. That's theft. A bank to bank is quite literally, if there's 1 million people on this planet, there's 1 million banks. If there's 1 million people doing banking, that's 1 million transactions in 1 million accounts. Each million is each individual on this planet. That's what you've been gifted with. What do you do with physical gold? Well, physical gold will always remain what it is. You can convert it to whatever you want, or just keep it, because you will always be able to exchange that for bitcoins or any other cryptocurrencies that are out there. Okay? I myself have vaults in Switzerland that hold gold and silver. Okay? Period. That will always be money because that's always money. But the conventional way of exchanging money is now become on a level playing field, and it's decentralized. Decentralized. Which means governments no longer control it. Period. What is fractional reserve banking? I'll tell you straight out. This is the word that I was looking for. You go into a bank, you ask for, say, £1 million loan. Okay, £1 million loan. They take that £1 million, and you are the authorizing person, authorizing that bank to act as your middleman because you're too incompetent, is what they think and say, to go to the treasury itself to take out £1 million in your name for you. And then they put it into their bank account. In their bank account, not yours. And then they hold it there under the Three-Ray Restrictions Act for 3 days. Beg your pardon, they hold it there for less than 3 days. Now what they do, because they've now lodged in that they have £1 million or $1 million in their bank account, they log that as a number. And then they take the actual physical money, whether it's gold or silver, in this country, which is United Kingdom, albeit England, they use gold and silver, what they call silver sterling. That is transferred into a paper money, which is another word for bond, to say that we have secured and partitioned that much of gold, so you can bank that as a digit. And then they take that and return it back before the 3 days, because if you keep something in your life for more than 3 days, you've made contract with it. So then they return it back. But when they return it back, they don't alter the £1 million to say it's minus, to say it's come out of their account. They take that money and then they give it to you. That's called fiction money. That's when they use physical money to generate their fictional money. And what fractional banking is, now they have digits of 1 million, which they post to 0. They will take that and times it by whatever factor there is in that country. Like in the United States, I think it was as high as 12. That means they've just made £12 million. And then they take that £12 million or dollars and they lend it out to everybody at extraordinant interest rates. This is all money laundering. This is all criminal activity. And because their criminality is so vast, the Bitcoin people brought it to a nil. Okay? The cryptocurrency people. That is that. We are now going to be dealing with mortgages. And that will be the easiest and the simplest to deal with. How many of you would have signed a document if you knew a mortgage meant debt pledge? Would you have signed it? If you have signed a document that you think is a mortgage, and it means a debt, D-E-A-T-H, a pledge, would you have signed it? If the answer is no, then you have just started the launching of a complaint, which you can do with me as a Chief Federal Postal Court judge on a global scale, all 190 countries in the world. How many of you would have signed a credit card agreement and get yourself into debt if you knew debt was a sin? If you would have, and you're happy to do that, there's nothing I can do. But if you want yourself to get out of that sin, you would launch a complaint. Or if you want to do it yourself, accept the mortgages because you need a court system to be able to deal with that and the names that perpetrated these things. You can do that for your own credit cards. Because if they can't give you an account where the money came from, and you started giving them money, that would be considered fraud. You are participating in fraud. Now that I've educated you on what a mortgage is, and now that I've educated you on what a credit card is, can you participate under the misprision rule of a felony? Can you participate in that crime? The answer is no. If you are, then you are likely to get arrested. That's the power of a sovereign educating you. That's the power of knowledge. Once you've been educated, you have to do something to stop and correct. Otherwise, you are participating. Otherwise, you are participating in the crime. Some of the questions I get on the mortgages is, how long does these things take for my court system to sort out? Takes roughly about a month for me to get the paperwork together. The research is probably the most horrendous. After that, on the first filing, it takes 3 months for it to mature. Okay? So that's the answer directly. I want to make it very clear how little these perpetrators of debt pledges thought of you to get you to save and openly take up a debt pledge. Well, my court system has the ability to reverse that because we make them the owners of the debt pledge. Since they use fictitious language and undefinable language, that's my jurisdiction. That's the power of quantum language. That's the power of the Federal Postal Court system. And there has been so many people that have tried to stop me from doing what I'm doing, or failed. I've taught several million people indirectly and thousands directly. Out of them, there's only been about 12 people that were toxic, but they will be meeting prison because they lied and they cheated and they tried to alter. These are people that are no better than the debt pledges, the creators of the debt pledges. You cannot have that in your life. You just simply cannot have an old contract in your life called a debt pledge being birthed into this era of Corona. Corona also means the golden age. This is the golden age. It is not a coincidence that Bitcoin, symbol of Bitcoin, which in itself, I'm not talking about Bitcoin, the symbols of which are gold, but they have no bars running across them, which means they have no real value yet. It's only when they have double bars running across it. They only have 2 bars on the top, 2 bars at the bottom, but nothing going through the B. It's only when it goes through the B that you'll know that it's really got value. That's something very people run out about. But I know these things because I crack their bank accounts, albeit they're. The other question I had in advance is, what is the outcome? Well, the outcome is your home, once the mortgage process has gone through, is yours. Well, who else can it possibly be? It's yours. You get to keep your home, because nobody in this era gets away with creating debt ledgers and living off of you. That's wickedness. And wickedness is punishable. And I am working on, and almost there now, of creating a prison system with the existing prison systems, treaty with them to have these people in prison. Anybody that alters Miller's technology, going around telling some people, oh, we are all equal, but some people are just more equal than others. No, that's not going to happen. This is a peer-to-peer world. Sycophants, narcissists, psychopaths, and all of these subspecies, they're going to go extinct, period. I'm not going to take a 5-minute out because I've answered the questions that you need to know about the debt ledgers and the mortgages. I'm going to go straight on to 5G. This you need to know and listen very carefully. Everything in the world is there for you to benefit. And because you are not aware how contracts work and you haven't been educated properly or been robbed of your education, your ability to make use of existing mechanisms are very poorly organized. This is by design, because no corporation can exist without living off of you. Did you really think that corporations actually produced anything? No. People that produce things, They have to live off your commercial energy, your sweat equity. So the 5G technology is what's going to enable the people all around the world to become peer-to-peer, to be able to communicate in real time, like I'm doing with you, through Skype, and all these mechanisms which are all open source, which are free to you.
Salute, brother.
To be able to participate fully in this brand new golden age. This is the age of Corona. And that you cannot bypass and allow yourself to be manipulated into thinking that the governments are going to kill you. Nobody can kill you unless you give them permission. Nobody can vaccinate you unless they give you a disclaimer in the quantum language. Your surgeon generals in each protected country, your surgeon generals, which is a military position, have to give the command that there really is a contagion. And for the public safety, we are now going to help the general public come out of this. And we have found a genuine mechanism to be able to do that. They haven't done so. If you guys want to know more about what is being played out in this Corona period, go watch the movie Contagion. It was all there. Even the head of the World Health Organization is there. They will even use a black actor to make sure. I will also be releasing a video on who she is. He's a witless person, doesn't really know very much. Just go watch it. That's not a prophecy. That's them talking to your subconscious mind to tell you this is what we're going to do. It's all been planned out, ladies and gentlemen. Don't take my word for it. Go watch it. You'll even see scenes where they'll open up a human genetic code and say, the gold, that's your gene, is gold. The gold is the gene, the golden era. Gene is a word meaning genuine. It's another word for also genetics. Another word for that, the old Arab word, genie. That creature that has so much power, that's you. That's called a sovereign. You will understand these things by just looking up some of these words, and it'll be right in front of your face. Will this 5G technology kill people? I'll answer you very directly. That's a fairly sophisticated piece of kit. And it's also a biofeedback mechanism. That means it's reading you all the time. For those people that want to be honorable, those people that are parasitical, those mechanisms like a biofeedback resonance machine, like a life machine, can be there to heal you as well as the planet. They can ionize the atmosphere so you can breathe easy. They can bring back the oxygen that was depleted over the past 30 years by the burning of carbon fuel, not fossil fuel. There is no such thing as fossil fuel unless you're burning the fat of an animal. Fossil fuel was created as a lie to get you to believe what a moron you are. Because nobody actually believes in fossil fuel. You cannot have creatures that created and got themselves buried and they go up and dig up oil. In Russia, they don't teach such things. In most other countries, they don't teach these things. They'll laugh at you. The fossil fuel fraud is nothing more than the Earth's geological processes, like seawater, fresh water, that takes place. They dig a, they run it dry, come back a few years later, and the well is full again. Just like that. It's a natural process. It's a geothermal process. That's all. Well, that burning of that is all coming to an end. It's new technology. So back on the 5G technology. The 5G technology, although it's got a bioresonance machine to do a heck of a lot more than just simply put the whole world in contact with each other, it does have the ability to hurt people. It does have the ability to pacify people. And it does have the ability to agitate people. And yes, it has a lot of abilities to be able to harm people as well. For those people that will do such things, these mechanisms will be switched off specifically to your body, your particular gene, because it's a biofeedback mechanism as well. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It can do a lot more than just simply talk. So what I would say to you, if you want out of all of this nonsense, because you as sovereigns will choose, is that you need to copyright, copy claim your genes. And the easiest way to do that is tell the vital statistics that your genes, that your body, your name is all copyrighted. You will soon find, just as with me, they get switched off. It's as simple as that. That's what you need. Not stones to throw at people to be agitated. That's just fake actors agitating the general public. Any Walmart shop, if you say that you're in hardship and you need food, will give you the food. Simple as that. What I'm saying to you is do not allow yourself to be demoralized into thinking that you are powerless. You are not. I am no different from any of you. I have a humble beginning. To this day, I still live in my council flat. What you guys call social housing. I still live in my social housing. And I control billions of assets. What's wrong with that? It serves my needs. What I'm saying to you is, put away hero worship. Put away those things that rob you of your ability to become a sovereign. Get yourself educated as to what global commerce is. Do not believe the corporations telling you the Chinese are your enemies, the Muslims are your enemies, the Americans are your enemies, the Russians are coming, the blacks are coming, the whites are coming, the aliens are coming, the Martians are coming, because the coronavirus is coming. I'm now going to get you, sorry, beg your pardon. I was going to show you the dictionary of where it's got corona is a common cold. Okay? So I'll take 5 minutes out and I'll show that to you so you know what's going to be coming on my next video. So I'll see you guys in 5 minute times. Oh, beg your pardon. I keep saying, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you in 5 minutes.
Okay, family, this is about the last bit of it. We probably got like 5 minutes of this. Um, what I think he's going to show, yeah, the dictionary. Oh yeah, duh. The dictionary. So, after this, family, I think you should listen to it again and again, so you can discuss, find some strategies and solutions to the end of this battle that we've been going through as a people, because the war hasn't been finished yet. So I'm not sure if he's back yet, but all right, I think he's coming back. Um, I thought he was gonna be back. He was back, but yeah, in about 5 minutes this will be over. I think it's time for us to start discussing more than civil rights, family. Um, we have to start thinking about human rights, family. You know, this bestiality has to stop. And he did mention that your real cops, the real cops, I guess, police officers, are not abusive. I didn't use the word abusive because that is not at all in any law book. Terrorism is, terrorizing is, domestic terrorism is, because that's what's been going on with us. We've been terrorized for decades over decades over decades, family. And I see what everyone's saying, enough is enough. I get it. I don't see the sound coming back at the end. This didn't happen. I don't know what's going on.
Welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to do all this in real time. You know, the things that I'm talking about are not illusionary. And I do apologize for keep looking at the screen in the middle and not at the camera, because this is the first time I've done a live broadcast. So I'll do my best to look at the camera, which seems so distant. It's a little green dot. But let's get the subject matter at hand, and then I'll finish this. Why is it that no doctor on YouTube, on the free platform, is telling you what corona is? Why does it take somebody living in East London, living in a social housing, to tell you what the facts are? That's how much control that these corporations have, until people like David Wenvilla and Eichler. Why is it that they don't tell you it's just a common cold? And the year that they discovered it was in 2019, when this dictionary is what it is. And on this dictionary, as you see it in real time, I shall turn to the back, show you the entry for Corona Virse. You can watch it anytime that you want. I'll just pull back a little bit, and I'm not taking it away from you guys. You ladies and gentlemen, beg your pardon. And I turn to the page. And here you can see on the same page, just read it. Read it. I'll hold it there for 5 seconds. And you will have a recording of this as well. And the camera should be good enough to be able to pick it up. What does it say? Corona in the chart. Common cold. The facts always speak for themselves. On the next few videos, I will be telling people, and we have parsed and syntax, and we have sued the WHO, Worldwide Health Organization, for a correct language performance. Or you better take that vaccine off the market.
Whoa.
Because if it hurts people, that comes under the vaccine damage. You have knowingly injected somebody with something that you know is going to hurt people. And we, the judges, have done that for you to safeguard humanity from being toxified. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for listening to me. This transmission is now coming to an end. Please make use of the things that I have shown you, and I have told you the facts as the facts. So if I was not here and I'm not here, the facts will always remain. And it's not about me, it's about the facts. Thank you very much, and I'll see you folks another time.
Okay, family. Woo. What y'all think? Y'all been taking notes? Y'all checking his facts? Because that's what we always supposed to do, right? Now, family, it's time for some of the solutions. These solutions have to have strategy with them. You can't keep riding, you can't keep picking, and you can't keep, and then letting this shit die down. And it goes right back to the same old. Now is the time to make changes for the royal family. For humanity, period. This world been ate up, messed up, bust up since we've been ate up, messed up, betrayed, bust up ourselves. Have it not? Royal ones, have it not? It's time for solutions. It's time to get your gold up, your silver up, get you some crypto because you know they're going digital. Get educated in your digital currencies. Yes, indeed, you need to, definitely. Also, he said something about mortgages and debts. He told you those debts was not yours. It was the corporations, not the sovereign people, the Americans, not United States Americans. We got to start thinking critical, controlling emotions. Stop letting them use our emotions, our things that happen to us as triggers. But I'm not going to say I know everyone is doing their part, is where they at, they're supposed to be at. So when somebody telling you dancing in the streets or so and so, nah, symbol is what's a symbol? Can't say it right now. Them brothers that sitting there dancing, stomping the yards, crunking all y'all want to call the Somalian brothers doing it. All that is ancestor energy. All that is energy that they cannot handle. So brothers keep stomping that yard. You were using nonviolence, using energy. That's going to be some changing. People make it, oh, look at us. We ain't here dancing in front of. No, them niggas not dancing. Y'all not looking at the symbol of what these brothers are actually doing out there. They are stomping the yard. They're waking ancestors up that's down there, that's been through this. So don't ever, if your brothers and sisters on the front line, that's their job, that's their duty, that's what they supposed to, that's what they came down here to do. Don't get angry at them. Don't be mad at them. That's their part. That's what they're supposed to do. The journalists, the real journalists, the one that's reporting this, what's going on in this event, that's going on in this movie, that's going on in this matrix right now, start listening to them, because those are the journalists. He told you reporters only report. And he got a daggone degree to do so. They don't report facts. They report what somebody else's opinion, what they told them to tell them. Report that. Not the truth. Report that. All this anger up here, y'all been asking for this for a long time, family. We've been telling them, we've been saying they're not going to mess with our kids no more. We're not going to keep killing us like that. We've been saying this for a long time. A long time. Don't be scared now. Don't be scared. Just find out your area, your part that you need to be in. Some of y'all are physical. Some of y'all have to be on that front line. Some of y'all will be on that front line. Some of y'all, light workers, magic doers, the ones that get the energy. Y'all will be what y'all need to be doing, because some of y'all need to be on the front line, some of y'all not. Some of y'all need to be exactly where you're supposed to. Ones that's reporting on this, bringing out the truth, that's your part. You do not need to be on the front line. Don't let nobody else and people tell you where you're supposed to be at. Your spirit will guide you where you're supposed to be at. Your spirit guides you what you are. You are a physical warrior, or you're a pen warrior, or you're energy worker warrior, or the mundane warrior. You want to be, we got it all. Those positions is necessary. Very necessary. Symbiotic. That's what I was looking for, the words. Symbiotics. It's symbols. Symbols. Yes. When those little brothers y'all see, I know, could I also know that they have people that's infiltrating, making violence when people are supposed to be peaceful violence. I never saw no revolutionary ever in my life, in history. You can go read it yourself, was peaceful. Gandhi, you can say all you want, he hated your ass. You can say peaceful all you want, he hated, he's not you. His plight ain't your plight. And they keep saying there ain't no different. We are different. And it's okay to be different. It's the individual who have to learn to not tolerate, accept the difference of who each nationality is, or who each tribe is. You have to respect that. We come from many tribes as one. And at the end of what we know, they do call us the 1400s. That's the last thing you was called them, was Moors. But we also had different tribes. We have to respect that. We have to respect that our peoples are going to be Israelites. We got to respect that our people is going to be what other religion, Christians or whatever, Kimelites. We got to respect that, because all that knowledge, all that came from us. All is all, baby. And you are all the all. So relook at this how many times you need to. Take your notes. Do your research. Do your due diligence. That's what the reason why I really fucking love the Moors. Because you're responsible for your own, the captain of your own ship. Thank you, brother Infadishi, Baba Infadishi. He's been telling that for years. Bobby Hemmett been telling us for years that ye are gods. For years. And he also been telling you too about the 7 laws of Tahuti. They call it the Hermetic laws. And the number 1 law is what? The mind is the universe, and the universe is mental. Anything that a human on this planet, that comes on this planet, comes through the mind of man. Can we accept that? Can we understand that? Can you understand that the ancestors right now just brought this energy up? Because we've been crying about it for decades. Way before Nat Turner video movie came out. When we was up on YouTube holding Google Hangouts, talking about the terrorism, being terrorized by the police and by the KKKs and all that. He said the pen is mightier than the sword. And he also told us in history too, the Reconstruction years, that's how they messed up everything with the pen. So family, look at this video. Hey Coco, that's my sister. Facebook. I'm screaming on Facebook and YouTube. My first time ever screaming on Facebook. YouTube been on there screen before. But fam, for real, it is time. It is time. Who's the ones that's supposed to be sending up the energy and praying? Do so. Do so. Who's out here supposed to be beating on them drums? Do so. Who's out here supposed to be raising up the ancestors? Do so. Why not? It's time. Are we going to do the work this time? Or are we going to let that same timeline keep going on? At the end, we uprise, we revolt, and nothing happens. We back at the same damn spot, complaining what they're doing to us. Or you going to take this into your own hands as the original people that you are, as the raw ones that you are, and set this earth back straight. Because it's been off its handle, tipping in the wrong spots ever since you've been off your royal throne. You kept this earth in balance. Because you earthly godly people. So, are you going to stand up for your rights? You going to keep standing up for civil rights, or you going to stand up for human rights? You going to still keep being a 3/5 of a human being, or you going to be a whole human? Declaration of Human Rights. Civil rights. What it gives you to sit next to them, to go into their store and buy their shit, huh? after you stop and don't trust your own people. That's why I don't like going to black stores. They always like this. They always like that. Got you thinking like that? But your own people. And as soon as you say that, it's actually talking about yourself. Actually talking about yourself. You want to free your mind. Because that's the only thing that's in change right now. Are you going to free your mind? Are you going to use that pen? Are the spirit workers or the light workers are going to use that energy? Or my dancers? Or my, what you call, logical brothers that are lawyers? Are you going to be critical with this law that they have stolen upon us and keep lying to us about it? Why do you are treated that way? No more. No more. You've been saying it for 30, 40 years. The time has come. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Use that pen. Change these laws. Remember who your power stands in. Your ancestors didn't go through all that for nothing. All that for nothing. We didn't go to half. We haven't gone through half of the shit that they had. So we gonna still keep doing that? We complaining and the shit that they went through worse than us, we're gonna keep complaining. Come on, man. Like we told y'all before, and I'm gonna tell my own people this. We are not our grandfathers and our grandmothers. And we will not stand for this. I'm a full human being. You're not gonna treat me like I am not, because I know that I am. And my power lies in myself and my people. Your ancestors ain't gonna fail you, family. They have never at first, because you never called them. Call them, because this is done. You think your dollar's gonna be still here? That's done. So you're gonna have to stand on your own, family. You're gonna have to become a sovereign family. You're gonna have to be a sovereign person. Nope, sorry. Erase that. People, family. But I've been telling you for years, get up, stand up for your rights. And he told you, preacher man, don't tell me heaven and in the earth. What? He already told you. Stand up, family. I'm about to get on out of here. It's been about 2 hours. Not me talking though. It's been about 2 hours. Listen to Mark, what's his name? Mark Christopher, which he said he is the Globe-Chief-Federal-Postal-Court judge, and he have jurisdiction over all what's going on right now. That's what he said. He said he's the highest court other than the military court and health and safety. This is global. This is not the United States anymore. He said it's global. This is not in the United States anymore. America is coming back. Be happy, Americans. The United States is going where it's supposed to go. Be happy, Americans. Thank you for your nationality, Americans. Peace, love, and light. I am out, War Ones. Oh, yeah. Watch this video. Take your notes. Do your research. Do your due diligence on this. See if it's right for you. Please share. Please, 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 please share, like, subscribe, all that stuff everybody else be saying. But please share this. This needs to be shared. People needs to know. Family needs to know that there's options out here. There's solutions out here. And there is strategy out here. Big up to the family. Big up to y'all royal ones. Again, it's been 2 hours. I am definitely out. Bye.